Alright, so we're back on that 99 Tahoe, Suburban, whatever it is. We're trying to find that misfire. So Hunter's gotten down to the distributor. He's pulled the cap off. Chase is shining it up right now with the wire wheel.
Wire wheel?
Wire brush. Here we've got just a quick piece of paper. Shows our firing order and our plug wire order. So hopefully this will straighten it out. If not, we'll have to look into wires and plugs and also injectors. Alright, well, we got a new cap for our distributor. As you can see here, tab on this one's broken, so put that on. New used part from who knows where it came from. And then we pulled all the plugs out, wire brushed them, and we also tested the resistance on all the spark plug wires to make sure they were all consistent. We didn't have one that was bad. Put it all back together. Unfortunately, after all this, it did not fix our misfire, so we're still searching. We've got our actual spark tester out now. We can put different cylinders, and we're going to go from here. We're looking for the actual part number for the spark plugs and what they're supposed to be, because they're all mismatched in this engine. This cylinder here, AC Delco. The whole other side of the engine, AC Delco. And then 1, 5, and 7 are auto lights. And we specifically on the scan tool are seeing number 1 misfire count continue to go up and up. Alright, today we're on the Buick LeSabre. We've got the fuel pressure gauge installed. So this is at 0 psi, hasn't started at all today. So I'm going to go turn the key and see what we get. Just as a key on, engine off. So there's key on, engine off. And we're sitting at 45, 46 psi. Let me go turn the key off and see when it comes down. Let's see if it drops down or stays steady. It stays pretty steady and isn't losing pressure that quickly. Alright, now with the car running, we've got our fuel pressure sitting around 41 psi, hanging around. We'll rev it up and see how much it changes. As you saw, as you rev it up, it goes about 50 psi, and then as it idles back down, settles. Okay, here we've got the picoscope hooked up to our injector. See, here's your short voltage up here, and here's the lead we have on the injector. See here's your injector on time, right? This line here. And then this spike in voltage is from when it closes the injector. And then if you rev up the engine, give it some RPM, you can see this change, and you'll see this on time will increase as you increase RPM. And then now Chris can rev it up. Take a look at what it looked like. See, there it was. Alright, we've also got the scan tool hooked up to the car, showing us something, the exact same thing as the Pico, just different view. So you can see it just gives you got a number reading for your injector pulse width. And you'll see the same thing in this one. If you increase the load RPM up, it'll change, just like this. Alright, we're here today in the 2010 Buick Lucerne. We've got our fuel pressure gauge hooked up. You can see right about 60, and try it idle. In a second here, we're going to try and put the car under some load and see how it changes. Hunter's going to put it in reverse and brake torque it a little bit. Give it some load and see what happens. All right, Hunter, go ahead. You can see there, no change in our fuel pressure.
So now we got the relay out of the Lucerne here. We're going to test it and make sure it works properly. We've got our 85 and 86 terminals, as well as our 87 and 30. On our 85 and 86 terminals, we should see between 60 and 120 ohms of resistance. And then when we switch real quick to, before putting power to it, our 87 and 30 terminals, we should see an open loop. Then we'll add power to our 85 and 86. Power and ground to our 85, 86, and then we should see a very low resistance, but not none. So I'm going to start by taking my test leads, connecting them to 85 and 86. And here you can see our resistance is almost 90, which is right in that spec. So now I'm going to connect the test leads to 87 and 30, and then add power to it here. So here's my ground, and here's my power. You should be able to hear it click as I connect this too. And then you can see the resistance is pretty close to zero. Nothing to be worried about. Yesterday, our Marcos Honda, we were looking for a misfire on it, and I was testing. We were testing out these injectors, seeing if we could make sure they were all firing. So I did the homebrew way of testing it and just used my pry bar and slid it down to the metal part on the injector and just made good contact to it. And you can put your ear against it and you can hear it physically clicking it all the way through the shaft here. And if you want to be proper about it, you get the stethoscope out, put your good old ears in there, and you really hear what it's saying. And then to properly check it, you would pop out, you'd pull the connector here, so that way you can hear if this injector shut off to make sure you're not getting any random noise from the other injectors firing.
Alright guys, so we just pulled out the injectors out of this 94 Miata right here, and we're gonna ohm out these injectors. We don't have the exact specs, but we're just gonna make sure that they're all pretty close to about the same ohms. About 14.7. 14.5, so that's pretty good. Really right next to each other.
Just had this one.
We just ohmed them out. I don't know why it's not working. Why it's not. There it is. So that one's good, and then we'll do this one real quickly. So yeah, they're all pretty much the same. So that gives a pretty good representation that these are still good, and we're gonna put them back in the car after we clean them out. So more to come. Okay, so now we're cleaning these injectors with the ultrasonic cleaner. It's just pulsating the injectors on and off right now, and making some weird noises. So
This is gonna sound beautiful.
that's what we're working with right now.